See? So it's having that inner game, that inner fight, that type of inner determination. It's like a dog. A dog can smell fear. Someone will walk by a dog, and the dog will bark and bite him. And then someone else walks by a dog, and the dog, he couldn't care less. See, what's the difference? Like a dog smells fear, it's the same thing with the criminals and the bad guys. They can smell a fear, and they can smell when they're having an effect on you.
And I know, Charlie, and I think, Charlie, one thing that will help us, I know it helps me, but if you exercise regularly, and this, Charlie, you know me well enough to know that I'm not some self-righteous exercise guy, but when you go out for a run or you do lift weights just to get muscle tone, it gives you that confidence. It really does, because you know you can physically move, you know what you can do. If a lot of us haven't tested our physical prowess, if you will, in the last 5 years, we have a reason to be scared. And I'm guilty of not doing that as well.
Well, Norm, you're right. It's a great point. Some physical fitness gives you some confidence. It actually helps you emotionally to be calm and secure. But no matter where you are physically, if you're 87 years old or you're in a wheelchair, whatever the case might be, you can still have an inner confidence and a determination in your eyes where you look like you know where you're going, and you look like you mean it.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Joe in Traverse City, you're on with Scott Bolan, scottbolan.com. Go ahead.
Hi, Norm. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Joe, thanks so much for calling.
Hey, one of the callers was asking about the schools in this area. There is, and I won't say the name of it because I don't know if you would want that to be done.
I don't think they would care if you gave them free advertising.
Well, yeah, the school is Sung Mi, and the owner is he teaches WTF style Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he also offers most of his students, at least the serious ones, that they can come in on particular times, and he conducts MMA training, and he does have some background in Muay Thai and some other things. And when he deals with the little kids, what I liked about it was because he does have the real small kids doing it, and a lot of the children's stuff is also based on citizenship type stuff, school performance, reports from the parents on how they're behaving around the house and that kind of thing.
Discipline. Now, I've heard Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of those real serious martial arts, isn't it, Scott?
Well, it's a lot of fun, and it will surprise you very quickly. It will awaken you very quickly when you find yourself on the ground and tied up and asking yourself, what happened? I have studied that. I've dedicated my life to martial arts, and I absolutely love it. The only thing I want to mention is that if we become style loyalists, for example, a lot of them will say, 99% of all fights end up on the ground. Well, I've been in more than 10 fights, and only one has ended up on the ground. So we need to train for all venues. And by the way, Joe, was that his name? I love the school you're describing. It sounds like he mixes it up, and that's the thing. He does some Taekwondo. He does some Muay Thai. He does some Jiu-Jitsu. He mixes it up. That's the thing. We want to be a complete fighter, to have the range of both on the ground, or if we're on our knees, or if we're standing, or if we're sitting. We want to be able to fight from any range, from any zone. Yeah, and Norm, mentioning that you're a cop, a lot of the cops I train, they tell me they're on their knees handcuffing, say, a wife beater.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the white knight coming to rescue this damsel in distress. They're cuffing the bad guy.
And here comes a woman.
And here comes a woman with a pan to club him over the head. And we have trained officers in that position because they often get attacked there on one knee. They're on one knee cuffing this guy.
Yep.
And it's just amazing. So we need to be able to fight from every range.
Yeah, and I have news. Can you hold on, please?
Sure.
Can you hold on for 7 minutes till I get on the news?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay, here's what I'm coming back with. First of all, how to instantly dissolve any fear, how to get out of a traffic ticket, how to tell if somebody's lying to you, how to instantly end a fight in
your center line, Norm. And the center line is full of devastating targets. I don't care how big or how strong they are. What have you got there? You've got nose, mouth, throat, solar plexus, groin. All those are soft targets that are devastating and brutal. So, for example, how to end a fight in one move? Well, first of all, we have what's called the Forest Continuum, and I'm certain you're familiar with this in law enforcement, where we have passive, medium, and lethal force, a headbutt, a strike to the throat, okay? A headbutt to the nose. And by the way, headbutt is, you don't want a forehead butt. It's the crown, kind of the top of your head.
Oh, okay.
And that's like a cannonball. So if I grab someone behind the neck and pull them toward me, as the top of my head is crashing down toward them, it's like the target is being pulled into the cannonball. It's devastating. It's brutal. Also, obviously, a kick to the groin, a snap kick to the groin. One move, and I've seen guys bigger than the Hulk on the ground, curled up in the fetal position, crying for mama, off of an accidental kick when the guy had a groin cup on.
Oh, no kidding. Well, I was told for more accuracy, you either grab the testicles and squeeze, or else you punch.
A slam, absolutely, or even a solid forearm slap as like an iron bar. And so and we show this in our Devastating Fighting Secrets DVD. I'm going to send that to you, Norm.
Oh, thanks so much.
And you'll absolutely love it, because it's an hour of easily applied finish them in one move techniques, tactics, and you'll love it. You'll love it. Absolutely love it. And that's the way. See, that's the difference. When adrenaline takes over, we won't do those fine motor movements, those fancy spinning kicks. When our heart is beating and we're being attacked and it's out there on the street, you won't rise to your daydreams or your expectations. You're going to fall to your level of training and knowledge, because adrenaline takes over, and then it's gross motor movements. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. 3 ways to instantly destroy a bigger, stronger, more experienced attacker. Same thing?
Well, again, the HKE. Just remember HKE. That's headbutts, knees, and elbows. Another thing I teach too, and this is very good for medium force, is it's called an oblique, and what it essentially is a shin stomp. Where if you can imagine, say you came in and you saw a black widow on your couch, on the arm of your couch, you picked up your foot and stomped down with the arch of your foot, bam, to crush them with your shoe. Mm-hmm. Well, imagine doing that on someone's shin. Now, I know we've all been walking through the living room and we've hit our shin on the coffee table and went screaming, and that's without intention. But a smash down on the shin with intention is great, and it's a low-level attack. It's not really seen with the eyes.
There's a weak spot just above your foot where your foot meets the front of your ankle that I'm told is a pretty good target. If you can jump down on that part of the foot, right at the bottom of the leg, at the base of the foot, it's pretty effective.
Yeah, and I like that, and I like the shin even better, because the shin is so long and big, it's hard to miss.
Oh, and it hurts. When you get hit in the shin, it's like when you found something at night being the coffee table. Now, when you strike somebody, again, I believe I'm speaking to adults who are responsible, law-abiding citizens, so I don't mind talking about what I know, and you shouldn't either. But when you go to, if you have a punch, you don't want to use the front of your fist. You want to use your hand as a hammer. Look at your little finger and make a tight fist and use that. I've been told. Now, truth, fact, fiction, what?
What I found is the 2 knuckles. I wouldn't worry too much about it, because here's the thing. When you're in a fight and there's adrenaline going, you don't want to be thinking about it, am I doing it right?
But if you'd practice it.
But if you practice on the bag, you want to use those knuckles, those 2 knuckles. Now, the pinky finger... are you saying to slam down, kind of like, pounding the desk, pounding the table?
Pounding the desk, or doing a vertical slam in that way as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all dependent on the situation. It always is. You never want to be stuck in a rigid set of rules, because it flows from venue to venue. But I would say for a punch, for a direct punch, you make a fist and you don't have any limbs extending, and you strike with with the knuckles.
With the boxing.
With the boxing, exactly. The boxing fist, because we do that instinctually. Anyone who tries it, once you're above the age of 10, you go to hit something, that's just what you do. So we can learn from some of the timeless things in boxing. Of course, there are other strikes we can develop. I use the forearm as a weapon. I can use the palms as a weapon, the fingers. And I show that in the Devastating Fighting, for example. Devastating eye gouges, and that's great for a rape situation. We teach housewives to cops, the whole gamut of people. This works for everyone.
Okay, so my follow-up question doesn't really exist. The other one is to curl in your fingers only. Don't make a fist. Hit them with the palm of your hand.